Praised be Jesus and Mary. Saint Damian of Molokai, whom we celebrate today, was forced to quit school at the age of 13 in order to work on the family farm. And 6 years later, he entered the congregation of the Sacred Hearts of Jesus and Mary. And when his brother, a priest of that same congregation, fell ill, and when he was unable to go to the Hawaiian Islands as assigned, Damian quickly volunteered to go in his place. So in May of 1864, 2 months after arriving in his new mission, he was ordained a priest in Honolulu, and he was assigned to the island of Hawaii. And when in Kohala, Father Damian wrote to his Father General and said that many of his parishioners had been shipped to a leper colony on Molokai, and that he had an undeniable feeling that he would soon join them. And it was on May 10th, 1873, that Father Damian traveled with Bishop McGray and a shipload of lepers to Molokai, and after 2 days, Father Damian was willing to devote the rest of his life to the leper settlement. And he had to beg the bishop for permission to stay. The bishop the colony was a concern of his, but he felt he could ask no man to take this assignment. He was thinking maybe of sending priests there on a rotating basis. But the bishop finally replied that if Father Damian would remain prudent, that he could stay as long as his devotion dictated. And Father Damian accomplished amazing feats while residing there. Just 6 chapels were built in just 2 years, and he had constructed a home for boys, and later a home for girls. He bandaged wounds and made coffins and dug graves and heard confessions. And celebrated Mass every morning. And the morale of the settlement, of course, improved considerably. A few years later, he succeeded in getting the Franciscan Sisters of Syracuse, New York, led by Saint Mother Mary Ann Cope, to help staff the colony on Kolopana. Father Damian, from his early missions, had to walk all over the islands to visit his parishioners, and sometimes over still hot lava flows to get to them. And he had caused him to have trouble with his feet, and so he always would soak them every night. And then one night he poured his hot water as usual, and he placed his right foot in the water, found his place in his breviary to pray his office, and he placed his left foot in the water, but removed it immediately because of the boiling hot water. He had forgotten to cool it off with some cold water. And he looked at his right foot, which by this time was a mass of loose flesh and blisters. And but there was no pain. And it was at this time he realized that he had leprosy, but he still continued undaunted for another 5 years. He died peacefully on April 15th, 1889. And as he requested and desired, he was buried with his lepers in Kalapana. But in 1936, the Belgian government succeeded in having his body moved to Belgium. And part of his body was returned to Hawaii after his beatification in 1995. During the beatification homily, Blessed Pope John Paul II said, "Holiness is not perfection according to human criteria. It's not reserved for a small number of exceptional persons. It's for everyone. It is the Lord who brings us to holiness when we're willing to collaborate in the salvation of the world for the glory of God, despite our sin and our sometimes rebellious temperament." Blessed Damian was canonized by Pope Benedict XVI on October 11th, 2009. So let us take to heart Blessed John Paul II's words and strive to take advantage of all these opportunities to collaborate in the salvation of the world just by fulfilling our daily duties and cooperating with those inspirations to perform works of mercy and sacrifices.